For about a month now, the United States of America's universities have been engulfed in protests. The aim, we are told, is to push the USA to withdraw support toward Israel in the ongoing war against Hamas, which has also led to a massive humanitarian crisis and death toll in Gaza. For clarity, to protest is a democratic right. To stand in support of vulnerable Palestinians is a humane gesture because they are abandoned by Hamas now and they are being killed in IDF bombing. Now that we are clear on this basic premise of support and solidarity for a vulnerable people and humanitarian issues, are the pro-Palestine protests on the surface being hijacked by anti-India agendas and anti-American democracy plots? The ongoing protests got my attention when I saw this viral video. Azadi slogans being chanted at the protests in university campus in USA. Most of you may have heard these slogans in India protests, especially in the leftist circles. Modified for the pro-Palestine protests, the words here were Biden सुन ले, मोदी सुन ले, New York Police Department से भी छीन के लेंगे आजादी. I also saw many are trying to boast that these are freedom slogans and basically from Kashmir and have now made their way to the great USA. So let me tell you about the real context. When at the peak of Islamist terrorism in Kashmir, these Azadi slogans were shouted across the Kashmir Valley, especially in the 1990s. The mob, in hundreds, angry in a sinister, dark frenzy tone, would shout and threaten, charging at the minority Hindus, who were forced to huddle in their home, hide their children, protect their women when these slogans were being shouted. And the main slogan was, हम क्या चाहते आज़ादी, आज़ादी का मतलब क्या, ला इलाहे illallah. Not about Kashmir, not about the ethnic Kashmiri identity, not about the independence and rights for all Kashmiris. The minority Hindus of Kashmir, who are a living testimony of this horror, why are these shouting slogans? Remember and are reminding you how stones were pelted at their home, how an aggressive, violent mob in the name of revolution would use this slogan against the indigenous ethnic Pandit minority because they intended to create an Islamic Kashmir. All of this eventually resulted in the massacre and exodus of lakhs of Hindu Pandits from their own ancestral land. And you thought these were simply freedom slogans. For a persecuted people still living in exile, internally displaced in India, these Azadi slogans and its variations can never be seen as either positive or as revolutionary. It will always remind them of the scariest, most brutal nights aimed to exterminate their historic civilization. Misused Azadi slogans, glorified as rebels by the so-called intelligentsia, and the world remained silent. In the garb of Azadi slogans today, these protesters are at your door, USA. Remember that when you support such behavior, not really understanding the context. Because it did not end here. It was not an isolated incident. At the Rutgers University, some of these pro-Palestine student protesters also put forth certain demands, and one of those demands was to display the flag of occupied people of Kashmir. How does it become a mention in this protest? So now I dare them to post images in this protest of Kashmiri Hindu toddler babies who were shot in the face by jihadists in Nadi Marg massacre 2003. Or put the faces of the Kashmiri Muslim orphaned children because their brave parents had dared to stand against terrorists and radicals in Kashmir, and today they don't have their parents with them. And then, if we are bringing in other people, why just Palestinians, Kurdish or Kashmiris? Let's also ask for the Baloch Muslim flags who are brutalized by the Pakistan army, or Uyghur Muslims who are being sent to detention camps in China. Don't they deserve support in USA campuses? What about women in Iran who are risking their life protesting for basic freedom to choice in life and are being butchered by the Iranian regime? Why are they not being mentioned by these young, brave protesters? And the world is watching this. An Iranian origin social media user quoted the recent riots and violence in Western societies. And he then reminded that when the Shah of Iran was fighting the alliance of Islamists and socialists, all the Western media and governments attacked him, the Shah of Iran, for trying to save his country from this avalanche. He's basically saying that we tried to warn you, but you branded us Islamophobic. A famous doctor based in the USA has added on social media that most Americans have never seen school closures. They've not seen disturbances at a massive level because of attacks like these. And that he says this is not just about Jews or Israel, but also ask Iranians who escaped Iran and how it turned out to be. He's basically adding that intellectuals think that they are standing up for a cause for human rights, but they are being manipulated by paid actors propelled by social media and foreign powers. So what happened on the ground when issues and agendas started to be mixed? With anti-India, anti-Jew sloganeering and mentions came a backlash. Now Jai Shri Ram sloganeering was seen at the campus. This social media, not an Indian, not a born Hindu, stood out and started to shout back with Jai Shri Ram slogans because he wanted to stand for India. The fact is, there is a serious need to campaign for justice for Palestinians and also for Israelis who have been killed or are being held hostage, including this little baby Kafir, who turned 1 year old and is still kidnapped in Gaza. God knows if he's being tortured, if he's even alive or dead. The protests are for the people of Palestine because they are caught in closed borders and are facing constant bombardment and horror while their elected Hamas government has vanished. Why then flaunt Hamas headbands or its variations at university campus? FBI is being requested by the Stanford University to investigate. Who wore this headband and why? Is he a student or an outsider? Hamas is a designated terrorist organization as per the USA government. Hamas has terrorized Gazans also. Hamas is as much responsible for this horrific war right now, especially after 7th October brutalities against Israelis, where even children were not spared. Hamas now takes no responsibility anymore to protect their people, their Palestinians who elected them, who elected Hamas. Many of these Hamas leaders are reportedly hiding in Qatar now. So why flaunt their headband at the campus protest? Why should a cause for humanity be allowed to get hijacked by fake agenda-based extremists? More and more observers coming forth are asking, is there more than meets the eye? America today has got caught in its own web. Today, the big brother does not know what to do as the situation spirals out of control. The USA has been for years accused of creating disturbances in other countries. The USA was critical of India when there were confrontations and crackdown on agitations. But now US President Joe Biden says, dissent is essential for democracy, but dissent must never lead to disorder. College administrators are now under pressure. They have to restore order and functioning of colleges for allegedly violation of conduct rules. Cops were brought in to arrest and clear these tents. Let's be fair. Mass protests have been organized across USA and for decades against the war in Vietnam, demanding equal rights for women in America, demanding equal rights for people of color in America. Notice the pride and clarity in all these protests, despite facing arrests and action by the cops and government. So many are asking now, with the pictures surfacing from these protests, why are so many protesters wearing masks? Why this secrecy and suspicion if you're agitating on a humanitarian justified cause? From my experience, protests in India, whether the left-wing or the right-wing university students, protesters gather as organized, proud and angry on any issue irrespective of ideological differences, even if it is against the government leadership. And if the agitators are seen masked and violent, they are usually stone pelters, arsonists or rioters. College authorities across USA are now reporting unlawful behavior by these masked entities. Jewish students are reporting assault and bullying, and they are claiming it simply because they are from the Jewish faith.
I'm feeling pretty on edge, and honestly, I don't feel safe right now on campus.
A Jewish professor, Shai Davidai, claimed that he was denied entry into his own Columbia campus, his workspace. Palestine flag at the John Howard statue, the spot reserved for American flag, was placed. American flag was disrespected and pulled down in Chapel Hill as claimed by this immigrant fraternity student who claimed they stood in rain to protect the US flag. How will such confrontations and violence help in getting more support for people of Palestine? Because it is only getting more bizarre. This UCLA protest spokesperson's comments went viral. when she claimed that the prestigious University of California is a colonial structure, inherently a violent institution. Why would then you study at a violent colonial institution like this? The situation in Palestine and in this war is serious and sensitive. It is urgent. And we must stand in solidarity and support of vulnerable women and children specifically. But let us not sit and watch when anti-India and pro-terror agendas are being allowed to be run in the garb of a revolution. Not anymore, not in 2024.